Hi, this is Susan Smith with StampCreatively, and I am going to do some blending. This is my sunflower card, and when you get a chance to order, this card looks so dimensional. It's just colored with the blends. You can see it's not dimensional. It's flat to the card. But again, when you look at it, it looks like it's got some great dimension. So I'm going to show you how I did that. And it's really not me, it's the fantastic stamps, the distinctive stamps, and then it is the fact that we have these fantastic blends. So I'm going to show you the colors that I used and kind of how I do it. I always stamp on shimmering white, that's my favorite. So I'm going to stamp on the shimmering white. I'm going to use my Memento ink to stamp it with because I think that's what works best with the blends. And then I'm going to tell you what colors I used. I used a light So Saffron, a light Daffodil Delight, a dark Daffodil Delight, a dark Mango Melody, a light Calypso Coral, a light Cajun Craze, the dark Soft Suede, the light Soft Suede, and my Color Lifter. And then I did some leaves in the middle, so not to waste my paper. And I used the light and the dark Old Olive and the light and the dark Granny Apple. Can you see my assistant? This is Violet. She thinks she's missing out if she's not right here with me stamping. So she thinks she needs to be right here. Okay, so what I've done is to kind of start it out, like this is a completed one, but I wanted to show you kind of the different stages that I do it in. So everybody, as you practice with a blend, you will figure out what works for you. I go light to dark. So I'm going to kind of go over my sunflower. Again, light to dark. I'm not worried about staying in the lines because I already know I'm going to use the dies to cut that out. So that's how I will go around the sunflower with the light. Then I'm going to go a little bit darker and I'm going to use a light daffodil. And this one's already done, so I'm going to go over here and show you how I did it. And Stampin' Up! Gives us these great lines to use as a guide of where we need to make it a little darker. So I've gone over it with the light daffodil. I'm going to go with the dark daffodil. And you can see how I do that. And again, everybody does it different. You'll figure out what works best for you. Dark mango, which is what I've done over here. This one's been hit with the dark mango. And I'll show you how that changed the color. I'm just going to do a little bit. Again, I'm making it a little darker where the lines are a little darker, following what Stampin' Up! Told me to do. This is the light Calypso. My goal is to give depth and interest to my sunflower. And I'm going to use the light Cajun. And I don't mind if my colors sit. I go back and add to them. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to add this light Cajun to this one. Again, I'm going to go over those spots where I wanted it a little bit darker. Now I'm going to go back to my first color and my lightest color to blend those. And that's going to make all those colors come together. Again, I'm using the shimmering white. I think it takes the color a little better. It gives me a little more chance to blend it. So there's, with all the colors, this still has a few colors that I can add to it. This one's not complete. This one's completely done. So I wanted to show you the variety of things I do. You can always add your color lifter if you want it a little bit lighter in a spot, and that's going to give it a little bit lighter. The next thing you want to make sure that you do is give yourself some grace and some time for it to settle. If you're not sure about it, come back. I'm going to show you how I did the center. I'm going to swirl this around. Then I'm going to go back with my darker soft suede and hit those dark edges. Go around the middle. I'm swirling it because I don't want it to be solid. I don't want it to be a solid color. I want it to have some different shades in different places, I guess. Now I'm going to go back to that light saffron because, again, I didn't really hit this one very well. I'm going to swirl this. I love to put yellow on top of things. I just think it kind of brightens it up. And again, gives it a chance to move it around with a little bit lighter color. Now, if I want to come back to this one up here and do something different to it, if I want the center a little bit darker, I can do that. Just do that very center and make it a little darker. I can make it a little darker here around these edges. This with this dark soft suede. I can go back with the light soft suede. I feel like my colors lighten as they dry. So sometimes I'll go back and hit them a little bit darker if I want it a little bit darker. I can also go back in this flower and add a little more color if I want. I'm pretty pleased with the way it looks. I'm going to show you how I do my leaves. Just so you know, it's basically done the same way. I'll go over the whole thing with my lightest color, which is the light Old Olive. Then I'm going to come back with the dark. And I like adding bright colors to mine. Again, I'm using these lines that Stampin' Up gave me. And I'm going to add some bright to it. And I'm going to go with the light Granny Apple. I live out in the woods and I get all kinds of greens. Then here I have the dark Granny Apple. And I love putting all those colors together. So don't be afraid of mixing different colors because, and my leaves don't need to match. They're all going to dry a little bit different, but don't be afraid of adding color and mixing color and kind of changing it up. So let me show you my sunflowers again. Here's my completed one. And then they're in different stages of being done. That's without the center. Here's the center. My leaves aren't complete. The petals to the flower aren't complete. But again, it's just some different things. So here is this card. Again, all done. I've run it through the vellum ran through with the leafy impression folder. That's this the espresso ribbon. But that looks like it has so much dimension to it, and it doesn't. It is flat to my card. Okay, I just kind of wanted to show you how I colored the sunflowers. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you again soon. Have a good day.